I wanted to make a video today kind of continuing on this discussion about fear and how we engage our kids. Specifically, I've been writing lately about fear and technology, and I found this one story that I've been sharing with clients in my office about this kind of dance we do with our kids has been really, really helpful. So I thought I wanted to share a video with you and think it may help you get like a big picture idea of where I'm coming from on how, not just with technology, that's definitely a big piece of it, but also with just any way I'm engaging with my kid. And so as you can see, I'm in a kid's room today. This is my daughter Abby's room, and I'm in this room today because I wanted to share a story that she said it's okay that I share about her and I when she was very little. And I remember, as most of you do who have kids, that when she was about 2 and we would cross the street, obviously as a parent you're very scared about them not getting run over by cars, which is a really important thing to think about and try to help them get across the street safely. And so I remember around 2, between 2 to 3, I'd reach out and grab her hand or ask for her hand. She'd give it to me and she would just, totally cooperate with that whole process. We'd go across the street. And then I remember one day clearly, it really confused me. We were in downtown Tulsa where we live, and the streets were really busy. A lot of people were downtown, and I went to reach for her hand and Abby said no. And I'm sure many of you have experienced that, but so she said no, and when she did, I got scared because I thought, I don't want her to die, I want her to live. So I quickly reached over and out of what I perceived as love for her, grabbed her hand, and then I'm sure most of you can predict what she probably did. She pulled away as I grabbed her hand, and she continued to say no, which when she did that, I got a little more scared, and I grabbed harder, and she pulled harder, and then pretty soon I just picked her up, because I knew this whole pushing thing or grabbing thing wasn't going to really work with all these cars. So I picked her up, and of course, you've probably had this happen too. She started to kick and scream, and it was just, the whole experience was not pleasant, but inside somehow I felt like I did the right thing. I did what a dad needs to do. When your daughter's trying to say no and trying to run across the street, it's your job to keep them safe and keep them from getting hit by a car. But over the next few days, I was trying to process this whole event that happened, and I thought, this just isn't sustainable. Like, it's working at 3, but it's not gonna work when she gets bigger. How do I wanna do this thing with my daughter? How do I wanna show her that I do love her and let that be the guiding force rather than fear? So I came up with this idea where I would practice this. We went outside of our house. Our neighborhood isn't that busy, and I was able to bring her outside. I knew she wanted to play across the street with me, and I was banking that the relationship my daughter and I had was strong enough that it would be the guiding force here. So we went outside, I reached for her hand, she did exactly what I thought she would do. She said no, and then she ran across the street, and instead of grabbing harder, I let her go. And when she got to the other side of the street, she said, "Dad, come over here. Dad, come over here." And I said, "Honey, I'm not going anywhere until you walk with me and hold my hand across the street. I want to make sure we're safe." And she screamed and cried and said, "Dad, come over here." And I just consistently said to her, "I love you, honey, and I want to cross the street safely. I want you to hold my hand. We'll walk together, okay?" And that probably took about 3 minutes before she finally came over, took my hand, and when she did, I said, "Thank you for being safe with me." And we walked across the street. And we probably, I'm not exaggerating, I think we did that twice. That's it. Maybe two times we practiced that. And I've never had an issue with Abby pulling away since. And the beautiful thing is, Abby is no longer 3, she's 9. And her other brother and sister, who are younger than her, I've never had them pull away from me in the street. That they see their big sister and how she thinks this is the way to be safe, how we cooperate as a family, we hold hands when we cross the street or in busy parking lots, and they all just do it, and it's so beautiful. And so that's where I wanted to share that same idea. I hope you can see the connection that so many times the phone, technology, whatever the discussion may be, when fear rises, fear wants to grab, fear wants to hold tightly. And I know you're doing it just as I did it out of love for our kids to keep them safe, but inevitably it puts the kids in a position where they're just gonna pull away, and then we're gonna do this dance. And so I would encourage you today to think about, where am I grabbing my kid's hand? Where am I gripping too tightly out of fear and not letting love guide me? Am I deeply connected enough with my kid to trust the relationship that if they run across the street, they're gonna say, "Come over here with me, come over here with me." And then that is the leverage I'm gonna use to be able to have them come across so I can disciple and mentor them in this crazy world. Okay? Have a great day.